What do I want for my son?
私の息子にあなたは何を望みますか？
Do you want him to be a banker?
銀行家になってもらいたいですか？
You want him to be a big CEO?
この CEO、この最高責任者、会社の最高責任者になってもらいたい？
I said no.
いいえと言います。
I said no.
そうですか？
I said no, I want him to be happy.
私は私の息子にハッピー、喜びを持ってもらいたい。
I want my boy to know that I love him every single day.
私の息子にはですね、あなたの父親は毎日一瞬たりとも忘れずにあなたのことを愛してるよという。
Backstage, I met a armless child. I think he had 6 years of age. I can't imagine first of all, the persecution or the negative comments that were made to them, where disabilities are really shunned upon, and families automatically feel ashamed of their children. Here in Japan, to have a young, strong husband and wife, father and mother, who stand by their child, they weren't Christians. I just saw the grace of God upon their life. You know, it's not about your religion necessarily. A love from parents to a child is love. It's a love that cannot be replaced, yet it can be compromised when you have so much oppression. And I thanked God so much for this child and so much for their parents. And I looked them in the eyes and I told them to never give up. And they looked back right in my eyes and said, we'll never give up on our child. One of the most difficult things in Asia is that people are trying to find is acceptance. And it starts from infancy. It's the expectancy of performance. Japan has the highest rate of suicide in the world. The teenagers, the middle-aged men, the older men, it's so sad. It's definitely no easier for people with disabilities there. And a lot of people who have a family member with a disability finds a lot of encouragement in our story and in our ministry. And we took an opportunity to go to a local hospital where they do sort of like a day program so that the parents can go and work and not have to be a full-time caregiver. There were about maybe, I would say, 60 people there, from young to older, different disabilities, from cerebral palsy to autism to paralyzation. It was just wonderful to be able to go there and encourage them, let them know the truth that God loves them, and talk about acceptance, you know, that we're all accepted to God.
But don't worry about what other people think of you. You're all beautiful. Can you smile? Yes? Yeah? Can you still love people? Yes, yes. So I want you to know to never give up and take one day at a time. Thank you so much for having me here. I love you. Arigatou gozaimashita.
It's the same sort of feeling that I actually got when I went to Serbia for the first time, because I understand the language and I feel like it's, you know, one of my home countries. Now with my wife, you know, this feels like home. It's like our own kids, you know. I want to help them out. So I'm glad we're here. Thank you so much for having us here.
In my young years of traveling, I think I've counted about roughly 1,000 flights that I've been on. You become accustomed to the risks that are involved or the extra stress and pressure of traveling that not everyone has to experience. And I'm used to getting delays or, you know, lost baggage at times. I'm used to that.
Do you need ticket right now?
Yeah.
We don't have the ticket printed.
I'm wondering if they'll even let that fly because they're saying they want a physical paper that has it printed out.
You don't want just a ticket number, you want the actual printed ticket?
No, if you can show with the
Number?
Or ticket email, it's okay.
So we had a bit of a situation. I love Nate Milnick's, my caregiver's, seasoned sort of attitude when unexpected things come up, and that's always good to have on a trip like this. And so because it was a bit of a complicated thing where not all of our tickets were booked at the same time, therefore not under the same group of information. And so it was it took a little bit of digging.
Yes? Oh, we just got the nod. Arigatou gozaimashita. Thank you, thank you. Can we go now?
I don't think we are here.
Yeah?
You're my VIP.
Oh, wow, VIP seats.
Right here?
Yeah, right here.
Thank you. Oh, that's nice. We get a nice up. I think we just got upgraded for free.
I love hugging people and meeting people and saying hi and thank you for, your help in getting us here. But when I hug Judah, sometimes you can look into someone's eyes and see, what kind of life maybe possibly they had before, or I don't know how, but sometimes God puts on my heart what kind of background they came from.
Actually, I've just finished your book last night. Really touched me, man.
Thank you. Which one? Life Without Limits?
No,
Unstoppable. Good.
They just gave it to me about 5 days ago, so I did my research on it. Yeah.
And you finished it in 5 days?
5 days, man.
That's
With all
awesome.
my work I'm doing right now, but
Come on.
it's about the bullying. But it's funny because it really dug in deep in me, man, because I was bullied. But the thing was, the way that I turned it around was becoming a bully myself. I got into gangs, I got into drugs, I got into the whole thing, man.
Wow.
Yeah. It was only here that I found that God saved me.
Wow.
Yeah.
But there are some times where I meet someone and you just have no idea, what kind of background they came from.
I come from a family that was broken because of infidelity, and that was what triggered me to just let everything go and rebel. I live here in the Philippines now. I was born here, but I also moved to America in 1986. I got into drugs at a very early age. I started selling drugs, failed everything in school. I left school in 9th grade, which was 9th grade for the second time, and I found refuge in a boxing gym.
Behind every Christian, there is a testimony of how God got a hold of their heart, their attention, and their lives.
I focused more on my study of boxing, as in the skill, the history, even the nutrition behind it, the science of training was 100%. That was it. Win the first gold medal of all time. We've never won a gold medal, but at the very last moment, to get into Thailand, which would take me to Kazakhstan, which would take me then to London Olympics. First punch into that sparring, I dislocated my shoulder the last time, and that was it. At that very moment, I knew that God had closed that chapter. When I was reading Nick's book, and about how sometimes a passion has to die, so God's bigger and greater dream and passion can be placed in your heart, it really hit home. I was like, wow. Because all that time, I thought I had to fight my way to the top, and I realized the fight's already been won. All I have to do now is share his story, share his victory, and that's it.
It's just the amazing story of God's love meeting us all where we're at and loving us all, no matter what we've done or no matter how far away we've run away from the Lord. One of the most difficult things, of course, that I was facing while we were traveling is being away from my wife and my newborn son. And I really felt that Nate would be able to quite easily distract me. It's good to have lighthearted conversations and laughs and jokes and a little bit of poking and teasing here and there as well. It keeps it fun and alive.
Where's my camera? Is that my camera? This is camera. All right, great. Hello and welcome to Life Without Limbs today. I am your host, Nick Vujicic. Friends, I am so honored to interview such a wonderful, godly man. Manly God. Take two. He is Caregiver of the Year of 2011. The trophy got lost in the mail. Nathan, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me in Manila.
So tell us, how is it working with Life Without Limbs ministry and traveling around the world?
I will say, he doesn't really pay that well unless you play him at poker. And then he pays really well.
Can you say something that we can actually use? So what do you think of the Philippines?
The Philippines are great. We were talking about it last night, and we think they rival Brazil in the areas of mango, how their mangoes taste.
It's great to be engaged with a young crew, you know, like it's fun, you know, it's like the boys, you know, we're going out and we're seeing God move in incredible ways and tasting new food and meeting new people and seeing new things.
Tanner, quick, we're gonna go. We're gonna go now.
I've been to 47 countries, but maybe I've only seen the scenery of maybe 20.
Australia's kind of stuck in the 80s. Like if you go there, they actually still think like Bon Jovi's a viable band. Like if you ask them, Bon Jovi's the only band keeping rock and roll alive, as far as they know.
If Nate says, hey, let's go swimming, and I'm just sitting there watching TV or just lying in bed, sort of half asleep, half not, you know, like it's very easy to become more sad when you know that, you know, your wife and your boy, they're sleeping through the night and it's your day and you can't talk to them, you can't, you know, you're like, man, what am I gonna do, you know, like, I don't have thumbs to twiddle with and I don't really want to do anything else. And then he says, no, let's go swimming. And I went, no, let's not. No, let's go swimming. And then I say yes to it and, you know, it turns out that it's good exercise for me. It you know, gets us talking again, and it you know, brings up my spirits.
No, but it is going to be an incredible day.
Galing talaga. This is if you think about it, a small guy with a big story, hindi ba? Talk about being faithful over a little, right?
And we have now for you a testimony, an incredible testimony of unstoppable faith and also healing through God's grace.
Filipino people, wherever I've met them in the world, I've seen nothing but just kind people, fun-loving people who love to laugh. And when we had that auditorium that night of 12,000 people, it was one of the most electric audiences I've ever had in my life. In that auditorium of 12,000, everyone was just paying attention. They loved it. There was a roar that I'll never forget. And I could just sense in that auditorium that there were thousands of people who were sitting there, who were amening all the way and praying for a change in that nation and just a revival. You know, every nation needs revival. Every nation needs a touch of God. I was just very encouraged by the people there and their spirit and their passion. Thank you. We are praying for your country, and I can't wait to come back to Manila. God bless you all. Thank you.